pay attention.
Oh, yeah.
You're looking for capitals?
Islington Green School, North London. Here, a previous generation of students sang We Don't Need No Education on Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Choose one of these questions, okay, that you knew how to do, and then try and make up your own one. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do that, and then after that what I'll do is I'll talk to you all about the prime factors one.
Aisha Small's Year 10 maths class accept that they do need an education and have just started studying for GCSEs.
So, what have we been covering this term? Anyone? Bearings, which is part of angles, yeah, thank you. Danny, anything else? No, nothing at all?
Aisha is a mechanical engineering graduate, now on her second year of the Teach First programme. As a teenager, she was an independent learner and largely taught herself. But her students are exactly the opposite.
And I need to know how to work out that as well.
Which one?
The first one.
Right, what do I say now? Am I saying to you to do the questions? I'm just saying how difficult do you think it is?
She's frustrated they're not more independent in their learning and has asked John Bailey to observe and give her some tips.
Doesn't matter if you can't always remember what the mathematical terminology is, but write down what topics you think the questions have been covering.
It's lesson 1, Monday morning.
Do you think they're covering?
Aisha has given the class some sample GCSE questions to test out how hard they find them.
What grades you think they are, okay? So whether you reckon you can decide on your pairs, right? Whether you think they are A grade, B, C, D, E, whatever. Okay, I'll give you a clue now. There are no F's and G's in there, so there's none of that. All right, so if you think question 1 was quite hard...
See, that's a pretty relaxed person, isn't it? You're not stressing, your voice isn't raised, you look and feel as though you're really comfortable in the room. That's right, isn't it? Mm. Yeah.
If I see anybody who's wasting a lot of time doing drawings of their names or tags or anything like that, I'm going to get very irritated. So can you do that after you've done what I told you to do? Mm. Anyone got a pen or pencil they can lend Danny? No? OK. 20p. You get it back at the end. Do I give you pens and pencils, ladies and gentlemen? No. So why do people every lesson come thinking I'm going to change my mind? Calculators, I will get you.
Do I give out pens and pencils? No, I don't. So this is part of your campaign for independence, isn't it?
Yeah.
They need to be coming here with their own equipment.
I have done lessons where I haven't given them out at all, and they just sat there the whole time, and then they had a detention at the end where they had to have found one and do it.
Yeah.
And so I'm still trying to work out which is the best way.
I think what you're doing is the best way. I think it's dismal putting children in detention having a pencil.
Yeah.
But I think having a supplier and saying, yeah, you can have one, but I want a deposit.
Yeah, which got 5.9.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I did the square root of that.
Mark, what are you up to?
Maximum 2.
Okay. Did you manage to find in your book about the prime factors?
Another perennial problem with this class is punctuality.
You didn't see it? When did you come in? I think you just snuck in without talking to me, innit?
No,
I think you did. What time's the lesson start? Thank you very much. That's when you were on time, right? Okay, year 10. The lesson starts at 8:45. Can I congratulate the people who were on time? The other people, if you were late again, I will keep you in detention on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah, the only thing I'm big on is personal responsibility, which they don't have. Kind of, if something's happened, a little bit later, some girl comes in late. Hello. Why so late? What's this?
I was talking to this old chef because about my trousers.
Because your trousers, yeah? So I eventually say to her, why were you late? And she's like, oh, because Mr. Osachensky kept me behind. But he only does that to people who don't have uniform. So it wasn't his fault, it was her fault for not having the right uniform. But they never see that. It's always somebody else's fault. So, and if they've forgotten their pen, that's why I say to them, what are you going to do about it then?
Yes.
Because it's not really my fault that they've forgotten their pen.
OK.
So
an independent learner can account for themselves?
Yeah.
Is that right?
I would say so, yeah.
OK.
Is if we stop doing the GCSE questions, so stop doing them for me now, please. Took some back from over.
When was supposed to sit?
Sit there. Let's rearrange a bit because people were shy. So, I should be having how hard people think things were. So question 1. Easy. Difficult? Medium? So people are saying they think it's a C for that. Let me just have a look in my book. Now, when I give these questions out to you, I try and make
He's come in late, hasn't he? He's this child in the white shirt. He's not ready to work yet.
No.
He sits down, he half listens to what you say, and he's doodling. Meanwhile, you're staying with this child, which I greatly admire.
Okay, that's Reykjavik. It's in Iceland, so is it going to be hot or cold? Cold. Probably. So yeah, in the meantime, Aaron, he didn't do any work. Then he disappeared over there. Didn't do any work. Whilst the guy next to him actually was doing something. I don't know what to do with him because he's like that most lessons where he kind of doesn't do anything for about 3/4 of the lesson. And then he kind of does a little bit at the end. First one in, yeah?
What tends to happen is that we have meetings with them after they've mucked up. We say, could I see you afterwards? But the danger is, if I have a talk with you because I'm in trouble, I'm not really listening to what you're saying. I'm listening to find out, A, what the punishment is, and B, when you're going to stop. Whereas an experiment you might try, which I think might suit you very well, would be to make an appointment to see him. Am I in trouble, miss? No, you're not in trouble. But I want to talk about how we can make things better for you in the lesson. So you're not saying to him, come in the room, shape up or ship out, and you're in detention right away and declaring war. What you're doing is saying, I'm taking you seriously as a learner. This is a pattern I've noticed. Give me your feedback on it. And I want to see that pattern straightening up.
Anyway, to answer the question, so which one had the lowest temperature? It is Montreal. Thank you very much. Okay, so then work out the difference.
It's between the maximum temperature and the minimum temperature.
Tell me 5 characteristics that an independent learner should show. If you want me to be an independent learner in your classroom, what should I do?
You need to, I don't know, quite a lot of it's about common sense, I would say, to me.
Tell me, I haven't got any common sense,
Okay.
so I need to know.
An independent learner should try things because they're scared to try things and then get it wrong like that.
So you want to see an attempt made at a question?
Yeah. Also, asking questions, that shouldn't just be of me, of people around them. So maybe their partner or someone behind them.
I want to see people asking questions of each other.
Yeah. So that's kind of 3 things.
Got 2 more. The pressure's heavy now. That's crushing.
Well, an obvious thing to me would be to look in the textbook, I would say.
Yeah, okay, so I want to see people looking things up.
Yeah, and maybe explaining things to other people, which is part of the asking.
Fantastic. In fact, our whole conversation is about being explicit, isn't it? It's pretty clear that you've got command and control, and they like you, and they're learning.
Right, first of all, that shouldn't be out. Okay, I ignored it because I thought you put it away. Put it away. If I see it out again, I'm going to confiscate it. Okay? And secondly, you should be getting on with this because so far it looks like Sammy's done some work, but you ain't done any.
So what we're doing all the time is trying to is just try and turn up the volume. And I think making sure you're clear what being an independent learner is and telling them that, making sure that you're really explicit in your directions, and keeping up or amplifying that encouraging flow. Tell me a bit more, explain a bit more. I think that's who you are.
You need to get your homework diaries out and write your homework in, okay? So we're going to recap prime factor decomposition. Then we're going to be talking about the second thing, which is to do with the sheets that are on your table. So in 3 squares.
2 squared.
Thank you, Michael. Come sit down.
Times 5.
Exactly, okay? That is what's got you your 2 marks. It's a grade C question.
Aisha decides to be more explicit about what she expects of her students, sharing her insights into what makes an independent learner.
Because I left it from my previous lesson, you've got these sheets. Some of you haven't. Who hasn't got it? So the first one, for example, I would say that taking responsibility for your own learning is arriving on time. If you didn't arrive on time, then I think it's good that you come in and you apologise, which Michael did. So that's fine. Okay, so everyone get the idea. Different things that you've got to do to show each of these points. Okay, the right equipment, thank you very much. So bring in the right equipment. I think that's going to come under another thing. So right equipment, arriving on time, doing the work. Somebody else said something else. Danny, what do I want you to do? All right, we're going to talk about that response in a minute, Danny. Okay, it's not amusing to me that people come to a lesson and cannot be bothered to do anything. That they never ever decide that they're going to ask anybody else for help. That they think it's okay to just say, I don't know all the time. That is not acceptable anymore. Sometimes, this is not really true of this class, to be fair, but some of my other classes, I get people saying, Miss, what do we do? And they haven't read the question, they haven't asked anyone next to them, they've just come in, sat down, and haven't bothered to even try and find out what's going on. They haven't attempted it. So I've said to those classes that I'm actually going to stop helping them unless they've tried it. Okay? It doesn't matter if you get it wrong, first of all, that's fine. Okay, so try it, have a go, as Johnny said. And yeah, trial and error, fine. Try and improvement, yeah. So trial and error, that's fine. A lot of the time, you learn things by making mistakes because you remember where you went wrong last time and you think, I'm not going to do that again. The reason why I put explaining things is because if you listen to somebody, it's only a certain amount of information retained. If you start to write it down as well, or you see it, more is retained. But if you do all those things and then you explain to somebody else, you remember much more information. Okay? So that's why I've put that it's good if you're an independent learner to explain things to other people as well. Right? So as a teacher, I'm actually learning more than when I was at school because I had to explain things to you guys. I understand things better than I did at school. Next thing you've got to do is the bit that Roma and Charlie were asking me about, which is this page. Answer these questions, and then there's exercises that I'd like you to do. You can talk to your friends. You can talk to who you want, okay? You can even get up and go to someone else in the room as long as you do the work. By the end of the lesson, I'll have expected everyone to at least find out what numbers 1 to 8, okay? And then you should have got onto the exercises as well. I should be your last port of call. Tempe?
No, I'll give it back at the end. You can take my diary.
All right.
So what I have to do?
Having got Year 10's input, it's time to put theory into practice. Can they find the information for themselves?
All right, where are they kept?
Over there.
Look how I can see one there. I can see somewhere else. So go and get
Do
one.
you know what thingy is, Roma?
Question 1 asks, what is a database? The answer is in the textbook, but Aisha hasn't given a page reference.
We found it in the
104. Okay, we'll keep looking then. Okay.
The students are finally searching for themselves.
Is that database?
That looks to me like a two-way table.
Yeah.
Although, if we extended it, I suppose it could kind of be a database, yeah. Ish. That shows me that you have actually understood the question and are applying it, which is good.
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
If they could say, if you could write down why it was a database, it'd be yards ahead, wouldn't it?
So why is that a database?
Because it's holding data.
All right, year 10. Can I stop you, please? Can I stop you? I said about 20 minutes. Right, can I just say I've been very pleased with the way you've been working today. You've been excellent. National said this isn't really work, what's the point? It is kind of work, but I'm glad that you didn't think it felt like it. And can I thank you all for a good lesson? You can go 2 minutes early, lucky you. Okay, bye. Thank you, I'll see you on Friday.
Good. What did you think?
It was great. It was a really good lesson. It's quite a nice introduction to a topic, actually.
Then we've got an unmitigated success on our hands.
Yeah, they all learn, which is nice. They seem to like it, eventually.